Hello and welcome back to the 45th anniversary celebration here at Innovation Road in Hamamatsu, Japan at Yamaha headquarters. You know, one of the cool things about being in this amazing facility is all of the cool instruments that are around us, all of the, representing well over 125 years of development. So there's lots of just all sorts of great things, but there's lots of great synthesizers in here. And I'll tell you a story. So I got my first DX7 in 1986. I remember it was my first fully, let me tell you why I got the DX7. It was because it was so expressive. It was the thing that was revolutionary about the DX7, that and the Polyphony. It was 16-voice Polyphony and just amazing, just expressiveness. I just love the DX7. But I remember looking at Keyboard magazine, and before I got the DX7, I think it was Herbie Hancock was on the cover, and he had this instrument right here. This is the DX1. Now the DX1 is like two DX7s in a weighted action key bed. It's wooden frame. It just looks amazing. The other thing I loved about the DX1 is it had these LEDs, and you could kind of see things in a lot, just a lot more detail. See, the DX7 had all membrane switches and a small screen. This had a bigger LED screen than the DX7, but it also had all of these cool LED lights on here. You had all the algorithms up here. It also had all the function job tables on here. It had polyphonic aftertouch. So, I mean, and the sounds, again, for 1983, being able to have timbral changes with velocity. And then, of course, that little polyphonic aftertouch. Really amazing, this instrument. So cool. Again, look at it. It's just gorgeous. Love this thing. I really wanted one of these, but I couldn't afford one. You know why I couldn't afford one? Because it was $13,900, I think is what the cost was. We only made 140 of these, so you had to be both lucky and rich to have something as cool as this. Now, again, expressiveness is always part of Yamaha's philosophy in building any musical instrument, from trumpets to grand pianos to just everything we make, and synthesizers, absolutely. So let's move forward to today, 2019, and let's take a look at what Montage can do. Now, comparing and contrasting here, DX1 was cool, no internal effects. We weren't there yet. We just, it had the best chips of the time in 1983 when it came out, but as far as having all of the cool DSP processing, well, you'd have to move forward. When you move up to something like the Montage here, you have effects for days. You have 2 insertion effects per part. You have a master effect. You have a system effect, a variation effect. EQ alone, all the stuff you can do inside this instrument. And you move from this instrument that was 6 operator, 32 algorithm, 2 DX7 sounds simultaneously, is basically 2 of the engines of the DX7 in here. You move up to today, now you have the Montage. Well, you can have 8 operator, 88 algorithm, and not just sine waves now. Now we have different harmonic spectra that you can change things with. But the really cool thing outside of just the effect processing is the real-time control over FM. So one of the things that I love about our technology and some of the things that we've done is the FM cloud converter. So what the FM cloud converter can do is take sounds from the DX7, the DX7-2, the TX816, 216, and I believe the TX802. Check it out. Go to the FM Cloud Converter. It's the apps up on Yamaha Synth to look at this. What you can do with it is you can take a DX7 file, drop it in the Cloud Converter, and convert it to a Montage readable file. And you can load these sounds into Montage. So here's one right here. And when it loads them in just like it did into a DX7. So there's no effects. It's just. So this is brass 3 from the DX7. So what's cool about this is that now I can drop into the edit mode and I can touch the part that I want to see. Here's my FM. I see my 8 operators. Now this only engaged 6 of the operators because it's a DX7 sound. But I can see if I touch algorithm, I can see what this algorithm. This is algorithm 26. And this has a pretty interesting stepped modulator thing. And I know that if I touch operator 6 and I change the spectral from sine waves to something like a resonant a resonant spectral. Nice. Hear that? Now that's cool in and of itself. And the skirt, yeah, that changed the sound as well. So it just makes it brighter. It opens up those harmonics. But a cool thing about this instrument that I love more than anything else is that little control assign light. When that lights up, that means I can assign this to any of the physical controls of Montage. So let's do that. I'll just touch control assign. And now it's asking me, Destiny, part 1, operator resonate. Activate the source control to assign. How about just super knob? I see it there. That's the easiest one. And now, so now I have some real-time control over that. I can change this curve type. I mean, you've seen my videos on doing this. You've seen Dom Segalis's videos. You've seen Hoppe do these things at Superbooth, where you see what you can do with the control of this instrument. It takes FM to another level. So just doing that alone, and I haven't even done anything like go to the part settings, maybe select the effect, and maybe how about if I were to take something from OS3? I don't know. How about I'll go down here to my miscellaneous and I'll go VCM mini filter. So now I can add this really cool analog VCM filter to the FM sound from a DX7. Or I could add the spiralizer effect, the thing that does the shepherd tone. It's amazing. In fact, that's the one that I love using with this. I'll grab the cool tempo-based spiralizer. And again, with this, I touch something like feedback. I touch control assign. I can also assign that to the super knob. So now I have both operator resonance and the insertion A feedback level to real-time control. That's just the beginning. You can go on for days with this instrument. The other thing is that if we go back to our DX1 here, well, it was 2 DX7, right, inside the DX1. Simultaneous control of 8 of them in here with 8 operators. Plus I have another 8 parts that I could put FM sounds on all of those as well. 128 voice polyphony. I believe this is 32 voice polyphony. So way more polyphony. Just really cool. But now what I want to show you is some of my favorite stuff that exists out there that use the FM engine now in, today. One of them just FM what else X. I think this was added in the update previous to version 3.0, but I love this one. Because this one also has, if you look at it, it's a 3-part performance. So this is like, I guess it would be a DX1 plus a DX7, but it's so much. But then with the super knob, it's my aftertouch there. And all the cool controls, but I also have effects processing as well. That's one of the sounds I love. I'm going to tell you who made this one. This is my friend, Hoppe, Hans-Peter Hinkel made this one. I just have to say this, because I tell him this all the time. This is my favorite performance that I've ever heard in FM. It's just because what he did with this was he adds the beat repeat effect to the super knob. So you can really do some neat stuff with this. See, and he does some things where I move the super knob, and as one thing gets louder, another thing fades out. Now the scenes change things like the ARPs, so as I move through it, it'll maybe add another, there's your hi-hat. Now I want to be clear about something here. I'll turn this down all the way for a second. This is all FM, every bit of this. Again, now, FM didn't have resonant filters. Montage has resonant filters for days. Montage has control over the arpeggio playback. So I can change the gate time. I can swing this a little bit if I want to. In real time. And here's where the cool thing that he did with this is the beat repeat effect only appears at the top of the super knob. That is just way too cool for words. So, I mean, I think that gives you an idea of how far we've come with FM synthesis and how deep FM synthesis is. If you saw the video that we did at NAMM this year, where I did an interview with Dr. John Chowning, and I actually did about an hour-long podcast that's coming soon that I talked to him, and that was a really interesting conversation with John Chowning, who was the founder of the He discovered, I didn't say found, I said founder, and he said, no, I was discover. It was there to be discovered. So when he discovered the FM algorithm, he never really, he was trying to get it out there, and Yamaha worked with him to make a musical instrument out of it, like the DX1, like the DX7. But the thing that was really great is we played some sounds that Manny Fernandez had created on Montage, where he took a piano and he did a component modeled piano, and then you turn the super knob and it just takes it to outer space, and he almost fell out of his chair. He was just blown away. I cannot believe what has happened with FM in the 50 years since I found it. It's astonishing. It was really a great moment to see that. So that's what we've done with this amazing thing that he discovered. We create these instruments here in the 80s that changed the face of music, and we move forward to today. And I even talked about mixing it with AWM waveform sounds in here. It's just, it's endless. It's amazing. So there you go. That's the difference between 1983 and 2019 and FM synthesis. So, cool, huh? So, hey, I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching here from Innovation Road, 45th anniversary Yamaha synthesizers. Definitely ask some questions in the forum on Yamaha Synth. If you have any questions or any contributions, any stories you have, please go to Yamaha Synth and let us know in the forums. Thank you so much for watching.